Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my friends. This is, of course, the one and the only, the MRC show that never ends. And we're here in the Principality, nonetheless, of course. Have you missed us? Well, we've only been about 15 minutes or so hopefully you haven't. But we're here. This is the MRC X-treme race, the no-assist tier. Mix of tier drivers in this evening as always, and well, if you've been following us, we've had a few exciting races so far, and now we've got to see the big boys in action. Well, I say the big boys, a good mix of the boys, but before we get into the 18-minute of qualifying, it is an absolute pleasure and a real treat to welcome back to the commentary box alongside me. He is a former teammate of mine for about 2 seasons. Helped myself to a few championships and, of course, constructors as well, as just to trump it all off, really. It is, can you hear them roaring in the distance? Mr. Simba the Lion King is back. Hello, my friend.
Good evening, Mark, and how are you? It has been a while, hasn't it?
It has, mate. It really, really has. I'm good, mate. Unfortunately, well, I tried to reserve in Tier 3 and it lasted all of one corner. But, no, you had a good race yourself. You know, you got caught up, but a really solid race and a good points result as well from you here.
I'm quite surprised I finished it. I don't think I've ever finished a race at Monaco, except that one in Season 5 where we allowed racing line. So
yeah, that was back in the day, yeah, wasn't it?
I'm glad to actually take some points out of it, because it's normally a bogey track for me.
Yeah, I think it is for quite a lot of people, to be fair. It's obviously the tightest, the twistiest circuit. There's maybe only one, maybe 2 opportunities for an overtaking manoeuvre. So, yeah, it's one that a lot of people over especially the last couple of years, because the F1 cars, of course, have got bigger and have got wider, that people are almost calling for it to be axed from the Formula 1 calendar, because it is a bit of a procession. But it's one of those that it's been in the calendar since day one, hasn't it? So it's a difficult one, I would say, in terms of, do you get rid, do you keep it? I don't know, what are your thoughts on that one?
Hopefully, the 2026 cars are going to get slightly smaller, so hopefully that helps matters. Like you say, it is a procession. I saw a stat the other day, and there was 3 overtakes in the 2024 race.
Really? 3?
Compared to the year before where we had like 20 odd or something. So it was acceptable, was that? 3 overtakes was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was the most boring race ever to watch.
Yeah, that's not ideal, is it, in any way, shape? That's not what we go racing for. It was all
down the back of the field, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it, really? And I think that's wow. I mean, I didn't know that, to be honest. I did not know that stat. And that's, I don't really know where to go with that, because that's a tough one, isn't it?
Personally,
Palangs at the wall.
I'd be quite happy if it disappeared off the game, because I really don't enjoy racing this track.
See, I was on the same boat as you with that one. And then, knowing I did not like this track, knowing I didn't enjoy... I didn't enjoy any of it, and really struggled just getting the rhythm around here, and it is very, very difficult to get that rhythm. But I practiced quite a lot in the off week, in the week, and you know, my pace was really good, and I mean, unfortunately, my race on Monday didn't go according to plan. Of course, with the DNF 2 laps from the end, which was a complete, not a random glitch. Coming out the swimming pool, my car decided to veer right and then hit the part of the wall that juts out when I'd fought back from what funny enough was the lead to about P7, and I thought, yeah, I'll take some championship points home, help me get that one hand on the Tier 2 championship, and it kind of ended in a wall, random wall as well. But
it's a weird one, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It is, and yeah, I mean, I actually quite enjoyed. I thought my pace was quite good round here, and you know, I know we've got a week's break after this one, and apart from, of course, Tier 3 and X-treme, who are going to be racing in Jeddah to catch up after their glitches earlier in the season.
Don't remind me, it means I don't get a week off.
Luckily, I do. I think I'm probably on the commentary team, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's one of those that this track I've learned to start to like it, which is very sadistic of me to say, I think.
I must admit, it's a lot better this game than it has been on previous games.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, there's a lot more curbs you can take, but I find as well that the top of the hill into Casino is harder than it has been in previous games.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I'm probably never going quick enough to make it matter. I
mean, we're on board with Baby Hornet. I also find turn one, there's a very wide inside curb, and that can also be a bit off-putting because you can very easily invalidate. There's only about 3 points really in this track you can invalidate, with turn one being one of them, and then through the swimming pool section, that is also a point that you potentially can invalidate, and then later in the lap as well. I mean, I
believe I got one warning at turn one and one warning somewhere else, and it was like, I can't remember where the other one was. It wasn't the swimming pool though.
Yeah, I mean, before my DNF, I think I did get 3-second penalty, and mine was this part of the Baby Hornet's on now, which is a swimming pool. That was a very difficult.
I actually got one.
Yeah, I got one there, and it is easy to do. And then the next part, that's easy enough flat, and you can get a validation there or a warning. And then that next part as well that we've just seen Baby Hornet go through, that was my part as well that I got a bit squirrely and unfortunately got my warning. But that's about the only 3 points of the track. Now, yeah, I think I've actually nailed each one of them to get my 3-second warning and my penalty. But it's one of those. I mean, you journey at a 108.4. It's 1.4 seconds already quicker than Jules.
That's disgusting pace.
That really is, isn't it? That is a serious pace.
I think I'm going to stick on board with Baby Hornet. I might see him on normal pace.
Yeah, we're actually on with him at the moment. We'll do, of course, an on-board lap next time round. But we've noticed with Johnny there at the top, I've got the tyres on the screen, and a few drivers are doing a couple of laps, potentially 2 warm-up laps, then a fast lap. Or I was using, I found a technique where it was a fast lap, a slow lap, and then another quick lap. And it actually, the tyres came in, even the soft tyres, really, really well on that second flying lap. And it was quite interesting and a different one from what I normally do, and what a lot of drivers actually do. Not just here and in MRC and sim racing, but in general, the tyres will last. I mean, the hard tyres will go a full race distance, absolutely no problem.
Yeah, the mediums went quite well as well.
Yeah, they do. Funny enough, yeah. I mean, you might get 1 to 2% a lap of tyre wear, but the hards will be about roughly 1%. They do have, of course, the mediums have that early 20 sort of graining mid drop-off phase. The softs will do good 10 laps, which is nice to see. So the hard to the softs is possible. It's not the fastest way, but it is possible to do.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't practice as much as I should have done, so hence why I'm super surprised with the result, but I did find the hards actually weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be.
No, they weren't, were they? After a couple of laps or so,
they were absolutely horrible.
Yeah, but after about 2 laps or so, they really came into their own and got the heat into them and were pretty decent. Evening, Mr. Duck. Nice to have you with us. Of course, everybody watching, don't forget to hit the like.
Haven't quite got to grips with what your tyre heat should be on this game yet.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that one as well. Ooh, Benita gets it very, very wrong into mirror boat. But yeah, I'm the same. I'm very similar with that. I struggle as well in terms of the right tyre temps and where you should be. Oh, Chris pops it into second at 109.5. Done a lap on the softs now. Good lap from Chris, but still a second
if TT's anything to go by, 89 seems to be optimal. But according to the dashboard I use, that's still cold. It still shows it in blue.
See, mine were in the 70s, and they were green. So I don't know either.
I think this dashboard I'm using probably needs an update to allow for the new tyre model that we've got going.
Yeah, potentially, but let's have an on board.
I barely got to 80 all race.
Oh, crikey. Wow. So let's have an onboard lap now with only less than 8 minutes left. We're going to ride on board with the McLaren of Ant into the first corner, into Sandoval. Takes that nicely, gets on the power, doesn't use too much of the exit curve, of course. Walls abound around the Monaco. That was Beau Rivage up the hill into Massenet. The long turn 3 into turn 4 Casino with a large bump on the exit. There it was. Can easily unsettle the car that now into turn 5 Mirabeau. Never-ending corner. Then you have turn 6, which is the Grand Hotel hairpin. Turn 7 into Mirabeau Basse. Turn 7, then turn 8 into Portier, then through the tunnel. Turn 9 keeps on going round and round, and then back out into the sunshine, into the one of the heaviest braking points, if not the heaviest braking on the course. The Novelle chicane, there's turn 11 on the exit, then into Tabac. Turn 12, trying to take as much of the track as he can. Flat out through the Louis Chiron, 13, 14 into the swim pool section, 15, 16 was done. And over with into Rascas chicane, turn 17. Then we got Anthony Nouge. Oh, and he's lost a wheel!
Oh, wow. I kind of saw that coming as well. He just a little bit too tight on that corner.
Yeah, again, a very, very difficult one, and it was a good lap as well for him.
You've really got to kiss that corner to get the maximum out of it, and I think he's just over-kissed it there.
He did, didn't he? That was so tight, and there's Jules has just about missed the apex there, and he's going to on the run to the line. What's he going to do? A 1:13, that was a bit more of an opener for him, the second sort of warm-up lap, and that's sort of, we'll cut away from Jules at the moment, and that is absolutely devastating for him. Especially the way the track does ramp up, especially we've only got 6 minutes left. And it's going to really, really ramp up now, isn't it? Because the grip starts coming, and you know the tyres are in temperature. The guys have got their eye in as well to where the grip actually is and where they can push and those boundaries towards the wall.
Yeah, I found as the session went on, you do get faster and faster.
Yeah, you do.
My last lap didn't go the way I planned it. I was slightly up and then it went wrong, but it is what it is.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was. I mean, I could only qualify tonight on the hard tyres, and I did the same.
Very well to say you were on the hard.
Yeah, no, I think I was 6th. I think I was something like that. And yeah, I mean, I was quite happy with the lap, and I left a little bit out there, but that's literally was just down to the tyres. I was
in a party with Connor and Simon and Morgan, and nobody could believe how quick he went on them hards. But Womax as well, that was dirty fast on the hards.
I didn't actually see where he was.
I think it was like P3 or something.
Wow. And that's it. I mean, that's another one of these tracks because you can't. The delta between the two, yes, the softs are a lot faster. It's the traction zones that really get you. But if you've got your setup right, then you can sort of minimise the difference there between the tyre differences. And I also found that the mediums to the hards were very minimal.
Yeah,
ooh, lucky kiss to the wall.
There wasn't a lot between it, was there, grip-wise, once you got the hards running. I was expecting it to be such a drop-off, but actually it was alright.
Yeah, the hards are a really, really good race tire, and it's going to be interesting to see if anybody decides they're going to take them in the race as well, and to start on them. Freddie says both McLarens have DNF'd exactly the same place. Oh yeah, I just realised that, Freddie. Oh, that's devastating, unfortunately, but... you know, it was still a long race, 39 laps to go. Womack did 38 laps on the hards in the previous race. Wow.
Yeah, I think he only pitted once all race.
Gee whiz, I mean, that's
he went through on the hards and then took his penultimate lap pit stop for his other set.
Wow, that's incredible.
I mean, that's kind of pulling the bulls a little bit, but if the time will do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
the higher tiers have to pit on the penultimate lap, don't they?
Exactly, yeah.
There is nothing in the rules to say you must use your 2 sets of tyres and then pit on the penultimate lap, so he's just found his own loophole there.
Yeah, And you can't fault him for that in any way, shape or form. Ryan, great lap up into 4th. I know he really liked it. I saw him, actually saw him today. The man of a brand new Hyundai Tucson. So congrats to him on his brand new car. I'm sure his wife's going to be very happy with that one. I don't even know if he's got
to another new one, has he?
He has, yes. To be fair, I don't even think he has got rid of the Bayonne. He's now got a Tucson. He's gone up a bit bigger. And I've ordered a step ladder for him to get into it.
You know, Stu's going to love this. We're going to be getting the Warwick Davis falling out of the pit 4 before pictures soon.
It's one of those I couldn't resist. I was already thinking it as he was picking it up today. And I mean, I'm sure he's probably...
You should have put a little step ladder in the boot for him.
I know I should have done, really.
Only about 10 quid as well. It would be a good joke.
The parts department had run out. Womack is invalidated. Then we mentioned those invalidations. That was it. Womack's at turn 1. And he just cut the corner a little bit too much. Xavier 0.6 up on his lap. This will take him ahead of Baby Hornet, unless he's got a monster last sector as well. But Xavier's
just improved a little bit and then invalidated at turn 1, like you say, just that little bit too much curb.
Johnny's done a 108.2. I mean, Xavier really improved in the final sector, but to pop himself into 5th. But
did you see Bobo's times in Tier 3?
They were nuts.
They were absolutely mental fast.
That will put him 4th, just ahead of Bergen, who's now popped up. And that's what I mentioned, the track ramping up now. This is it. This is the time to be on track. Loppy's on a lap. He's got enough time to get round. Of course, Womack's invalidated. There's so many people to kind of follow at the moment now. I know I'm here, there, and everywhere, folks, but I do apologise. I think Smith's on an out lap, so the Red Bull that went through was Bergen.
Watching Xavier, I think he's on a lap.
We'll come
see
back
how he does when we get to the next timing zone, because he's just about to come to it now.
Yep.
Slightly up, 2.5 tenths.
Oh, let's go back to Xavier. That's going to be a big gain as he comes to the end.
Yeah, that could put him potentially 4th.
It really could. How is this? It looks quite neat as well out the final corner. And what can you do? Can you get to 196? It does put him into 4th. A really good, strong 4th as well.
He's gained a hell of a lot there. He must have lost a lot in the last sector the first time round.
Well, I found that as well, and it is easy to do. You can nail a couple of sectors and you think, yep, I'm great. And suddenly you'd sort of break that 10 metres early and lose 0.2 of a second.
Bergen's just improved and gone P5.
He has, yeah.
Nice lap from himself.
It is, isn't it? I mean, he mentioned that I was having a little joke at his expense, putting him into a Red Bull, and I honestly didn't realise, to be perfectly honest, that he's in a Red Bull after the way apparently his Tier 1 race went, but I'm not going to lie, I wasn't paying attention. I just put him into a car. So apologies for that.
Give it, don't you, really?
Exactly. Whoa, he's 17. Very, very sideways. Just about held on, but there's a kicks over behind. Hopefully they didn't get put off. That was Womack's. They've now finished, so Smith's now crossed the line. He did not improve. Chris is in second, just ahead of...
3/10 up. I'm just watching him coming into Raskas.
Oh, let's have a quick look at Loppy, because we're going to cut back to Jules. Chris has just beaten him into second to the front row start. Loppy does improve, beats Palang into 11. Now go back to Jules. He was 0.2 up. This could put him into second spot. If he has a good last sector, looked okay into there. Why was he going to be into Raskas? Nice and neat, gets the car rotated very, very well. And into the final corner, good traction as well on exit. This could be very, very good for second to display Chris. And it is a 108.5.
Wow, what a lap that was.
Fantastic lap. He nailed the last couple of corners there.
Bergen and Armour were both invalidated, so we won't see anything else from them. So that's our grid. Yeah,
it certainly is. Ujoni once again takes pole position on a 108.2. What a great lap from him. Jules, fantastic final lap, will line up alongside with the two RBs, Chris Bailey and Xavier, third and fourth. Then we have Bergen and Armour Red, fifth and sixth. Ryan, great qualifying from him in seventh. Then Benitza in eighth, and unfortunately after his DNF drops to ninth. Then Gabby Logan will be in 10th, and then we have Floppy, Loppy, Palang, Womax, Baby Hornet ahead of his teammate Stoob, then E17, Smith, and Freddie Olsen. Oh, and then we've got that far chase cam again, just as the cars come in. Oh, that is horrible.
I don't know how people can race like that.
No, it was the whole, like, the Gran Turismo 3 sort of setup that you had, and it was horrible, wasn't it?
One and whatever, yeah, you used to race in that.
Yeah. I don't think they'd had cockpit view at that point.
As times have gone on, we've all sort of gone to TV pod and cockpit and whatever. I mean, I'm back on TV pod now. I can't get to grips with the cockpit on this game.
That's interesting, because you were a stalwart for that.
I just think I'm that out of practice, and I don't get enough practice time. I haven't got the time to relearn it properly.
Yeah, it can be quite difficult. I think that's potentially one of the next things I may go to, but again, I've said this before, I quite enjoy just being able to sort of plug and play and just get on with it, and with the TV pod works for me quite nicely, rather than having
most
to...
weeks I'm turning it on a Wednesday, like 6:30, getting a few laps in and going into a race.
Wow, yeah, it doesn't take you much time to sort of get used to it, does it?
Luckily not, because we were just on Monaco on about 4 laps practice.
Yeah, it's pretty good going, isn't it?
Oh, not as quick as I used to be anyway, but maybe I'll get there eventually.
I'm sure you will, my friend. I'm sure you certainly will. So, yeah, this is now a little bit of a breather for the drivers. So it looks like it's going to be beautiful sunshine. We've not had any wet weather apart from MRCX on Friday evening. But now we've got beautiful sunshine, like I say, once again. Hit us up with your predictions. I mean, Johnny, that time was just ridiculously quick, but Jules only 0.3 of a second behind, and Chris wasn't far off him. So, but the race is a completely different animal. Of course, we've got that big chance of virtual safety cars, which we had a lot of in Tier 2, and then, of course, full safety cars as well. It can really shape the grid up, and your strategies can almost get thrown out the window.
Yeah, they really can. It's such a hard track to race on properly as well. That's
we've gone early.
If somebody beats you off the line, takes a good position off you, and it's like, even if you need to be something like, I think we're going to be quitting here.
We are, folks. Unfortunately, we quit very early. Oh, and I've just